Hey guys, it's Items Formas and welcome to this brand new The Sims 4 speed build house building video. And today I'm here with a very special video because I was lucky enough to receive an early access code of the brand new The Sims 4 game pack, which is the Vampires game pack. And of course the first thing I did when I received this code was to actually start building and actually also look at the new world, because an entire new world is coming with this game pack. It's not actually like a very big world, like for instance Newcrest or Oasis Springs. It's actually more like a holiday world, something like Granite Falls. It's got 5 lots and is relatively small, no commercial lots as far as I'm concerned, but it does really create a new atmosphere, which of course is really needed for the Vampires game pack, because of course it's sort of a spooky, crazy environment, which to be honest, I at first wasn't really excited about, because yeah, as a builder I thought I wouldn't really get as many items with this pack and it wouldn't really be something cool to build with and there wouldn't be very many opportunities. So therefore, to actually test out whether I was true or whether I was correct or not, I thought, I'm going to make a modern vampire house, because of course normally when you think about haunted, scary houses, it's always those huge big mansions which are actually old style, so more traditional, but never you see some scary modern houses, even though I thought, modern houses can be pretty scary as well. The reason I thought that, I had that in my mind, was because I saw the film, what was the name of it? The Glass House. I've seen that film like years ago. I think it was like maybe even 4 or 5 years ago. I saw that film and really had a big impact on me. For some reason I really found it scary, because I personally don't find horror films like scary, because it's just not possible, and therefore it's more likely that I actually burst out laughing during those films than that I actually am getting like very scared about them. But with like more serious realistic thrillers, I always get like sort of scared, and that was what this film was about, or at least for as far as I remember, it was just 2 kids alone in like a very modern, expensive house, which was made out of a lot of glass. It was very modern, and that's sort of the inspiration for this house as well. It's a very modern house, but it's haunted, so no one lives there anymore, or at least the people who live there have been turned into vampires, because of course the Vampire game pack, it's not actually really a lot, well, it is of course a lot about scary and spooky stuff, but it's not like the spooky stuff pack which we already had. It's much more focused on vampires, which I must honestly say I don't know anything. Well, I know a little bit about them, but I'll probably be corrected a lot in like the comments, because I really don't know that much about them. But my goal for this video was just to create like a very modern house, or very modern. Yeah, it is like a typical modern house which you would see sort of inspired by the Frank Lloyd Wright architecture, and just a typical modern house which you would normally see in like natural areas like this, or at least that's sort of what I went for with the style. And then I tried to make it as scary as I could and as haunted as I could, because no one actually lives there anymore. So like very many spider things, what do you call it? Spider webs? Is it webs in English as well? I'm not too sure. I think it is. It should be. Otherwise, you know what I mean with the spider things, which you'll see me adding everywhere. But another way I tried to make it haunted was by adding like a lot of greenery on like the walls at the entrance, which you currently see, because that sort of makes it seem as if no one has actually taken care of the house over the past like decade or years, or whatever you want to imagine. And this was therefore really sort of the first house ever which I created with really sort of a clear story, with like a thought for who lived there sort of, and like with really a cool idea in my mind of what happened with the people. And throughout the video I'll probably talk about that, explain a little bit why I did certain things. And really, I must say, I have really been pleasantly surprised by this pack, because like I said, I wasn't really too excited at first, but of course I really did want to check it out, because I wanted to see whether like my nut excitement was true. But while building, I really had a lot of fun creating this, because it was really something different. Normally, I never built sort of scary things, and especially not modern scary houses, because that's just the thing. The reason, I'm not sure whether I mentioned that already, but everyone always creates with like haunted houses, those old style houses. I mentioned that, but therefore I thought, I want to do something different. Everyone will upload this, like probably will upload a speed build at this time when it's just come out or it's about to come out, because tomorrow this pack is coming out. If you're watching this on the day I release the video, it's coming out on the 24th of January. But anyways, what I wanted to say is that I just wanted to do something different than everyone else would do. And yeah, of course, normally I build modern houses, so I thought it would really be sort of a logical step, but still be something different, which is what I sort of try to achieve. And I think in the end I'm really happy with the way it worked out, and really the house just turned out to look cool. But what I was talking about is that I really had a lot of fun creating this, because it was so different from what I normally build, and it was also much harder and much more of a challenge than what I normally build. And therefore yeah, I do really think that this is a cool pack. For builders, it is cool. I'm not too sure how many of the items I will continue using, but if you're like into the more scary things, you like to build like sort of dark soul houses, then if you like create one or maybe even more, then this is really a pack for you, because you really get many new good looking items which fit the style, 3 new plants. But if you want to see more of what items come with this, I'm planning, or I have probably already made an item showcase, which might be up right now or might be up in a couple of hours, because I'm recording this one before the item showcase, but I think I will actually make one. So yeah, if you're watching this, just make sure that you come back in a couple of hours after watching this one, and then you can also actually see what items are all coming with this pack, because I'm sure that you just want to know that, because I really didn't know what to expect by the time or at the moment that the trailer came out. I was very busy, so I wasn't, yeah, I did quickly see it, because I always watch every Sims trailer, of course, and sort of read on like the news. But for this one, it was like the least I'd ever done. But I must say that I really have had a fun time creating this. And it was a challenge, because I wanted to do something different, so create something modern, but at the same time make it scary, make it sort of vampire styled. But that is sort of a hard combination, because modern is always very bright and vampires and scary stuff is always very dark. And also like modern stuff is very clean, not very detailed, and yeah, vampire scary stuff is actually like very detailed and very old style traditional. So there was a really big contrast there, but I did my best to make it work, and in the end it did, in my opinion. But I can imagine that there are people who don't really like this house, but I'm sort of concerned as well, or sure as well, that people will actually find this sort of a cool idea, because when I heard about this pack, this was just the first thing that came into my mind. I wanted to create something modern which no one else would do, or at least maybe right now there's like a ton of other modern like speed builds in which they build like haunted houses, but I think that will not happen. But if it does, then well, this is mine, and then make sure that you check out those other ones as well. But I just hope that you like this one. But therefore it was sort of hard as well to showcase all the items that come with this pack, because of course this speed build is also sort of to show you what items come with it, because I mean a new game pack comes with new items, and I'm sure that you all want to see what those items are, but then the style doesn't really fit the pack. But still I managed to fit very many of the items in, and also it sort of showed how you could fit them into like a regular modern house, and that's not too much. You can't really put this into like a regular modern house very easily, because it's just so detailed. But in like a more traditional house, you can use them. And for instance, you've got those spider webs, which I talked about already. You can add those in like cellars or whatever, an old room that you have, and you can actually add that in any house. But therefore many of the items are actually not like very good to use for other cases than when you're building a haunted scary house. But there are some items which you can use like more often than only then. So yeah, I really sort of took the entire shape of the house into consideration as well, because that's just, we've started on the interior already and now I'm only talking about the shape, but there's just so much to say like about this video and about the house that it's sort of hard to get it all sorted. But what I want to say about the shape is that it's sort of inspired by that film which I saw, and also sort of an idea in my mind which I have, that it's sort of like very scary to me that if you've got, for instance, a glass room and then you look outside and there's like like a patio or a garden, and then you see the other side of your house and there's glass as well over there, and you sort of imagine that someone's walking there or something is happening there, and you can see it but you can't just run there because you have to like run around it and you just see it through the window. That sort of seemed like a scary thing to me, so I added that in this house as well. And then this is definitely like the most scary part, and it's sort of strange. They added 3 coffins, which act as bats, but at the same time, I found it hilarious. But at this also, I was sort of like, it's sort of a touchy thing to just add coffins in the game. But yeah, I did add it in this house. I hope no one is actually like against it. I can't imagine if you are, but it's just a new item in the pack, so I'm sorry if you don't like it. But at the same time, it's sort of funny, right? How the Sims can now sleep in a coffin. And that's also the idea I had. Like, these people who lived in this house were like sort of rich people, which doesn't actually really matter, but of course it's like quite a luxurious big house. And they lived here in quite a good life, sort of, and then all of a sudden they turned into vampires. And this is the point where I might make a stupid comment about vampires, because I simply don't know anything about them. I hope you can turn into vampires, and it's not like known by everyone that you cannot turn into a vampire, but you're born like one. But in my story, they turned into vampires, and then, their beds actually turned into coffins, and their house was mainly kept the same, but some details actually got turned into a lot scary, more scary things, and everything just got sort of a little bit darker and not as bright, and their futures, they just continue living in this house as vampires. So that's sort of the story I had. I thought it was pretty cool to have a house with like such a story, and maybe I could do this more often. So come up with sort of a story of the people living in the house, because in that way, of course, you can make it like much more realistic as well. I can imagine that the videos might be more fun, but also the houses might be cooler for you to download, because you've sort of got that idea but with the house, sort of, and you can also use that for yourself, for your own Sims to play around with. But let me know what you think about that. Maybe also give me a suggestion of how I could actually make that happen, because personally I don't really have an idea for that yet, how I could implement that into the videos, but it does seem like sort of a cool idea. Here we've got the second bedroom, which is also filled with coffins, because all the people living in the house, their beds turned into coffins and they themselves turned into vampires. So in total, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom house with a gym, which you have seen me build already. Oh no, that's what we're going to do right now. Okay, coincidental. Here we're building the gym, and the idea was that this can sort of be turned into like a crazy doctor's area as well. It used to be a gym when they were like still normal people, but now they're vampires and they do like crazy things with other human beings here, maybe turning them into vampires as well. But still, like, the gym things are there, but there's also just like these spider webs, which you see me adding everywhere, just because they really add a cool effect, in my opinion, and it really adds to the idea of the house being sort of haunted, only lived in by like vampires, but they can't sort of make a change. They just live there, but they're ghosts. I'm not too sure if that's vampires aren't necessarily ghosts, of course. But anyways, this is the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. It's sort of a different video from a regular speed build, but at the same time, it is still a regular speed build in which I build a house. And I just really ramble a lot. But let me know what you think of this pack. I think it's a good pack, but if you're into building and you're not into building scary things, this might not be the one for you. But if you are, then this is really just definitely the pack for you. So yeah, it's just up to you to decide what you want to do with this. But I hope you enjoyed watching the video, and please leave a like if you did actually enjoy it. And also don't forget that you can subscribe to my channel, because that would really be awesome. But anyways, thank you very much for watching, and then I hope to see you back later.